Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Hello Central, live from Front Street. And it's the show before Halloween, so guess what? This is Halloween. I'm your host, Richard Benville. Tonight I'm the Wiz, not the Wiz that I teach weird science, but the Wizard of whatever. The Wizard of whatever, that's an alliteration. I have an exciting show for you this evening. People going to be popping in all over the place. Hello, Central. Merciful Mother of Maud Adams. We've got folks all over the place tonight, and including my bud Ralph here. Ralph, you're not very talkative tonight, and maybe that's because you're not really with us. You're a fig Newton of someone's imagination. But my show tonight is based on Halloween, and we've got some very creative young people with us tonight who have written stories about Halloween. We've got 8th grade students. But before I get to that, and I'll remind you at the end of the show, a couple of Halloween-type things you families and parents should know about. City of Nome and Nome Joint Utilities is handing out trick-or-treat bags. They're available at City Hall. All you need to do is go by and pick one up. Aren't they totally cool? Hello, Central. And you got to check out, Leslie did this pumpkin. Get on this pumpkin. Oh, it looks better on TV. Gummy bears for the hair. It's like Medusa. I love it. Hello, and the kids did the decorating of the mouth and what did you say? It was drooling or something. Hello, Central. Anyway, we're in the Halloween spirit here and hope that you and yours are in the Halloween spirit and getting there. Let's see, we got bags. Also, Dawn's big Halloween bash at the Armory, beginning at 6 o'clock Halloween. And that's a week from last night, Tuesday night, the 31st, All Hallows Eve. One of my very favorite holidays in the year. It's always a good, fun thing. We also have today, the elementary school handed out reflective tape, courtesy of the fire department. And while I'm saying fire department, Wednesday nights is also the night that the Nome Volunteer Fire Department has their meetings. And they have been very gracious and worked with us because they have a big pump downstairs that they need to check periodically. And they are, like tonight, waiting until the end of our show before they do that. And I want to thank Chief Doug Doyle and all of the folks, all of the volunteers at Nome Fire Department. Not only do they do a fabulous job, but they have a wonderful sense of community. Don't forget that first Saturday in December, December 2nd, I believe, is the Fireman's Carnival, perhaps one of the biggest events in our year. Tonight, come on in, young lady. We have some 8th graders from Nome Belts High School, Junior High School, and they have written stories as a part of projects. Their English teacher is Meg, Miss Spink, your English teacher. Meg Spinks, who is their English teacher, has gotten these children, these young people, children, I'll get nailed for that one, to write these wonderful creative stories. And Heather, come on over. Oh, Heather came over. Heather was taking a nap. Heather Piena, you're last on the list, okay? And you've got a long story. Yeah, did I have it? Well, we have to do a little pre-production because Heather's just getting here. We didn't have any sound cues, did we? I hope. Did we have sound cues for you?
Just like the buzz, buzz, buzz.
Buzz. And when you read your story, you got to speak louder than that, okay? And you're going to kind of cue me on the buzz, buzz, buzz point, and I'll go bzzz, bzzz. I brought a few sound effects. But in any case, Halloween stories and Halloween. I don't know about you, but one of my favorite things the brief time I was a Boy Scout and scouting was sitting around a campfire and telling ghost stories. For whatever reason, we as humankind love to be scared. And with that, let's get to some of these Halloween stories. My first author of this evening is Miss Sonia Head. Good evening, Sonia.
Good evening.
What do you? I don't want to spoil your story. I won't spoil your story. But let me ask you a question. Your story starts out in a kind of a unique way. Do you want to? It's an email, right?
Yeah, it starts out where the main character of the story, she's writing an email letter to her new e-pal Justin, whom she doesn't know anything about.
Okay.
So
And we don't have any sound, right?
No.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, a Halloween story by Miss Sonia Head.
I just wish I could make my problems disappear. Maybe I should be a magician for Halloween. Seriously though, I think I'm gonna be a hippie. Not very original, I know, but I got this awesome flowered headband with a great peace sign on it at the thrift store. The only problem is that it has this huge lipstick stain on the front of it, and I don't know for sure if I'm gonna wear it. Your e-pal, Maria05. P.S. Where you live, are the parents really strict? Do your friends get on your case all the time? They do here. Where do you live anyway? Maria finished typing her message to her new e-pal, Justin. Justin was really cool, and he was 13, just like her. They both liked to surf the net, and Justin was in advanced computer class at the school he went to. She was in advanced computers in her home of Nome, Alaska. Maria had met Justin in the Yahoo chat lobby a few weeks before. Ever since then, her friends had been complaining that he was taking over her life. After finishing her email, she ran to the school, which was only 2 blocks down from her house. She slid into her seat just as the bell was ringing. At lunch, she caught up to her 2 best friends, Catherine and Marissa. "Hi guys, what's up?" Maria asked as she plopped down in the seat next to Marissa. "Well," said Catherine, "you would know if you actually spent time with us anymore." "Yeah," Marissa agreed, "you always have to go email Justin or chat with Justin or something like that." Okay, sorry I asked," laughed Maria. "Are we still on for trick-or-treating tonight?" "Sure, whatever," came the reply. After a few minutes of silence from her so-called best buds, Maria hurriedly finished eating her lunch and went to the library to finish homework. She had meant to do it the night before, but Justin had been on Yahoo Pager, and she had stayed up late and chatted with him. She hadn't gotten any homework done, and she hadn't slept very well either. She settled down in her seat and got to work. After a few minutes, she found her eyelids drooping. Maybe she would let herself rest for a minute. She was almost done with her homework anyway. She got home from school late. She had fallen asleep, been late to class, and gotten a detention for being late and for not finishing her homework, which wasn't quite fair since she only had 3 problems left. But she didn't have time for that right now. She had to get ready for Halloween. She got dressed and ate some dinner. Why weren't Catherine and Marissa there yet? They always met at her house before starting out. She was about to call one of them when the phone rang. She snatched it up into her hands. "Hello?" Maria asked. "Hi, Maria?" said a familiar voice. "Yeah," she responded. "This is Catherine. I can't go trick-or-treating with you. My little brother got sick, and I gotta stay home to watch him while my parents go to some party. Sorry." Then there was a click. Catherine had hung up on her. Almost instantly, the phone rang again. "Hello?" Maria asked warily. "Maria, I can't go trick-or-treating with you. Sorry." It was Marissa. Their conversation went a lot like the first one, except Marissa wouldn't say why she couldn't come. Something just suddenly came up, and unlike Catherine, Marissa said goodbye before she hung up. Maria slumped into a chair. She turned on the television, resigning herself to an evening of Halloween horror movies. After a while, she decided to get a snack. Nothing good was anywhere. The only thing she could find was a week-old tuna casserole. She went into the hall, where her mom was handing out candy to a group of 5-year-olds dressed up as witches. "Mom," she began, "can I have some candy?" "No way," her mother replied. "You're dressed to trick-or-treat. Go trick-or-treating." "Fine," Maria muttered. She slammed the door behind her. After a few houses, Maria was ready to go home. Everyone seemed to be out of candy, it was getting dark, and the wind was picking up. She hadn't been paying too much attention to where she was going either, and she found herself suddenly outside a house she hadn't noticed before. She decided that this would be her last house before heading home. She walked up the stairs and rang the doorbell. "Trick or treat," she said dully. The guy that answered the door looked at her outfit. Maria felt his eyes rest on her headband, and she felt very conscious about the stain. "Come on in," he said. "I'll go get the Snickers." Against her better judgment, Maria followed him into the house. She loved Snickers. Once she had come in entirely, he looked at her. "Maria05?" he asked. She started. The only one who knew that name was Justin. "How do you know?" Maria screamed. "Ring!" Maria woke up covered in sweat. She looked around wildly. She was in the library, at school. She was safe. The bell had just rung. She was late for class. Marie gathered up her books and went to class. When she got home, she went into her inbox in Hotmail and deleted all her messages from Justin. Then she sat down and tried to think of a new costume. She was not going to be a hippie, especially not one with a peace sign headband.
Congratulations. Did you get a grade for that? Did you get marks?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Okay.
Oh, cool. An A. All right. Cool. I like the week-old tuna casserole. That sometimes can be pretty good. Thank you, Sonia. Cool. That was called Cyber Scare. And up next we have Marley Hager. Marley, good evening. Welcome. It's good to see you. Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Cool. And your story's name is. What is your name? Oh, wrong one. It's we were calling it The Most Creative Costume. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay. It all started with my friends Casey, Justin, Britt, and I were putting on a thrilling haunted house in my dark and damp basement. We had most of it set up and just needed to go check on it to make sure everything was perfect. Bryn was a friend who didn't like Halloween very much and always mentioned how she wasn't scared of anything. On the other hand, Justin frightened quite easily. What my friends and I didn't know about what was going on in my basement that we hadn't set up. There was a mad scientist named Ed looking for people to do brain experiments on, hiding in the basement. Since we needed to go check and see if everything was ready, Bryn and Justin volunteered. Actually, Bryn did, but she told Justin he had to come along. They made their way slowly down the creaky old stairs that smelled musty. When they opened the squeaky, heavy door to the basement, there was a weird contraption in the middle of the floor. They both looked at each other, confused, and at the same time asked, "What's that?" All of a sudden, Ed jumped out behind the odd contraption and with a grinding circular saw, laughed wickedly with a devilish smile. He whispered hoarsely, "You will be my firsts." He then knocked them both out. He cut their heads open and took out the bloody brains to switch them using the odd contraption.
Ew.
After a while, Casey and I began to wonder curiously why Justin and Bryn were taking forever and what they were doing. It was almost time for the guests to arrive, and they hadn't dressed into their costumes yet. We decided to go check on them. As we opened the jerking door, we found them both hooked into the contraption. We asked them what had happened, but they couldn't remember a thing, except they felt different. Ed appeared again behind us, and they remembered seeing him with a saw. Justin and Bryn both screamed, "Get away from him, he did something to us." They were too late though, and he knocked us out too. Ed switched our brains, and Bryn and Justin watched disgusted as he did. It made them sick to their stomachs to see him pull off the top parts of their heads and then put it back on. So we were all in this contraption thing wondering what Ed, the scientist, was going to do to us. At this time, Sierra, my other friend, came to my house ready to help out. She had something else to do, so she was late. She walked in to find no one there and the costumes all laid out. She wondered why they hadn't already put them on. She thought maybe they might be in the basement, so she went down the eerie stairs and opened the door. Sierra saw all of us and yelled, "What's wrong with you guys sitting here? It's almost time for the guests to arrive." We explained everything to her that had happened, and she gave us a strange look. We cried out, "Just get us out of this thing." So she starts to, and guess who pops out? Yep, you're right, Ed, but see, Sierra's a black belt in Taekwondo and jumped out of the way before Ed could knock her out. She knocked him out instead. She reached quickly and got everyone out. Ed woke up though, and all the friends hooked him up to his machine and used it on him. Afterwards, Sierra switched everyone's brains back, except for one. Everyone was sitting on the couch in their costumes. Bryn looked at all her friends and said, "I love Halloween, and I have the best costume, a mad scientist."
Oh, little switcheroo. How long did it take you to write that?
We thought about it a couple days before.
Yeah. Is that what is the hardest part of writing a story? Getting the idea,
Mm-hmm.
and then once you get the idea, it kind of flowed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Do you do it in your computer?
Well, first I write it out and take notes, and then type it up.
So you edit it and then type it out for a copy. That's excellent. That's excellent. It's just amazing too how much of the technology is in these stories so far. This is cool. This is very, very interesting. Next up in the scary stories or stories of Halloween of one sort of another is Miss Janae Walker. And good evening, Janae. How are you? Good morning. It's not April Fool's Day. Janae, you're also in the 8th grade, and the story, a weird thing that happened is the name of your story, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget to speak up. Cool. Take your time. Don't read too fast. Go for it.
This time of the year starts to get extremely tense because it is close to Halloween, and that is when weird things start to happen that nobody can explain. Like this one time, this weird thing happened to me on Halloween night. Let me tell you about it. In the far north of Alaska by Nome, it happened. Everybody there says that a really humongous bear would come out and destroy a house completely into pieces, but no one has seen it. People only know that it is huge because it has slashed a second floor balcony. Well, made a pot mark in it anyway. And so I desperately wanted to get a picture of it because I'm helping to put the yearbook together, and it would be a cool picture for the yearbook, even though I didn't believe a word they said. So I got my rifle on camera ready for the night on Halloween. I also looked at a map to find all the calculations to where the bear might go Halloween night. Then I waited anxiously for Halloween, but the night before Halloween I couldn't get to sleep because I was so impatient for the next day to come. But after a long time I fell asleep. In the morning I got out of bed and got ready for the exciting day. I ate breakfast and I made a lunch for myself for later in the afternoon and packed it so I could have lunch to eat at the place I would be that day. I got all my stuff and went on my adventurous way to Nome Belts Junior Senior High School to where the bear might to wait for the bear because that is where I thought the bear might go. When it started to get dark outside, the kids started to return to their houses. After that, all of a sudden, the power went out through the whole town. But of course, no one wanted to fix it because they were scared of the bear. And lots of dogs started to bark. After a minute, all the dogs stopped barking, and it was quiet, so quiet. I couldn't even hear myself breathing. So I waited patiently, cold and scared in the dark for the bear. Then I heard this one fainted noise. Sounded like something was walking towards me. So I thought that it was the bear, so I picked up my rifle on camera. After a little while, my bear was actually a dog. So I put my camera around my neck so I would know where it was when I needed it. And I also put my rifle on the ground. I tried to see if the dog had a collar, but since it was so dark out, I couldn't see. I felt for the collar. After I found the collar around the dog's neck, I stood up slowly. When I got up, I felt a strong, hot air blowing down on me. I turned around very slowly, and there it was. There was the bear in front of me. I was scared stiff to the bone that I couldn't even move because the bear was so frightened looking, and it was huge. The bear was probably 10 feet tall, and the bear had ruby red blood dripping off of its lips and chin. And I figured that it just got done eating, but if it was standing there, that it was still hungry. After I was staring scared at it for a couple of seconds, it roared very loud. So I ran as fast as I could go, probably faster than I have ever ran before in my life. I didn't even know where I was going until I realized that I was trapped by a tall fence, which was probably about 6 to 8 feet tall, because didn't have enough time to get over the fence. When I looked in the bear's fiery red eyes, I got the chills because they were very scary. Then all of a sudden, I remembered my camera that I have put around my neck. So I took the camera and flashed it, thinking that maybe I can buy some time to get away after taking a picture. And click, the bear was gone, completely gone. When the camera flashed, the bear got away somehow without me seeing it go. But after that, no one has heard it or seen a trace of it ever again. So now all I have to remember it by is a picture of it before it left that I took. So now do you believe me that weird things happen this time of the year? That ends.
Cool, excellent. You know, there have been times out at Belts when they've had, bears out in the parking lot a few times. You ever see one out there yourself? Because I know it's, have you? Yeah, it was a couple of years ago or last year.
Last year, the last day of school, they wouldn't let us go outside.
That's right, because there was a bear
There was
out
a bear out there. Yeah.
Cool.
Same.
Yeah. It's at your school, kids. How many schools in the world do you have to worry about bears out there? That's a fascinating thing. Excellent story. Was yours an idea that you had for a while, or did it just kind of come to you?
Well, my dad gave me the idea, and then I took it from there and fixed it.
Have you had any bear encounters out on the land? Have you been out with that at all? No? Don't want to either. Thank you. Excellent job.
My dad killed a bear before, but
Yeah.
it's small. But
Small depends on what side of the camera you're on, or what side of the bear you're on. Thank you, Janae. Again, these are 8th graders from Nome Belts Junior and Senior High School. These are students in Meg Spink's class, creative writing. What a wonderful thing. I think one of the greatest things that you can do is to share your talent with other people. And thank you for that. But we have one more. Heather, how are you this evening? Yeah, take that out. Hello, Sarah. Did you notice how sneakily she got that gum out of there? She got and it's going to be on you. Don't put it on the table. Chewing gum doesn't work with lace. Anyway, how are you this evening, Heather?
Okay.
Okay? You ready to read your story? What's the name of your story?
Oh, it's called The Nightmare?
The Nightmare. Don't forget to speak up. Ladies and gentlemen, Heather Piena, The Nightmare. Turn around a little bit. You need to turn towards the camera a little bit. There you go. Thank you very much.
One scary night, the night before Halloween in fact, a storm started brewing. During that night, a young boy about 13 years of age started to plan a trick on an old gloomy house that had a very strange old lady that lived in it. The boy's name was Donald Smith. Well, Donald was about 5'5.5" tall and had very gold brown hair. He also had deep ocean blue eyes with a button nose, pink rose lips, and dimples on each side. Donald had an evil grin, but it looked so sweet and innocent to the teachers, parents, and some kids. But other kids knew what kind of kid he really was and knew how he acted and stayed away from him. Once they heard he stole candies from a store and also vandalized it. Another thing they heard was that he tortured little kids and didn't listen to him. Parents and teachers didn't believe this because he got good marks and they never heard another adult figure talk this way. So all the parents did was say that it was nonsense and they were told not to believe this. Although some kids thought Donald was a bad boy and parents didn't know the truth wasn't to be told yet. In Donald's plan, he figured he would have to sneak out of the house very early and unnoticed. Donald also thought that he shouldn't tell his friends about the plan because they might rat him out and his truth would be told. Donald's plan was secretive. He stayed locked up in his room and didn't tell anybody about what he was doing and what he was. Sorry.
It's okay.
He didn't tell anybody about where he was going or what he was doing or how he was doing it. He skipped dinner to work on the plan until he finally realized it was almost 9. He went down to have a snack so he wouldn't be starving later on that night. He didn't go until everything looked neat and it was as if he wasn't doing anything. His mother Eve asked what he was doing, but he didn't tell her. He said he was doing a very important school assignment that was worth a lot of points. His mother believed him, of course. Donald ate his food very fast, and his mother kept telling him he was going to get a tummy ache. But Donald didn't care because his plan was so important to him. Later that night, Donald was almost finished with his plan, but he felt that he was too tired and fell asleep. So Donald fell asleep, but not before hiding his entire plan in a very secret place that he thought no one could find. The next day, Donald got up bright and early at 6 a.m. so he could try and finish his plan, so he could put it into action by the end of the school day. After Donald had finished his plan, he started to think twice about it. But if he thought if he chickened out of it now, he would never be able to forgive himself and he wouldn't have the courage to go through it next year. When Donald was about to leave the house, his mother asked him if he had been up since 6 a.m. and he said yes, not being able to lie to her. His mother, Eve, asked why he had the same excuse last night. He said he was working on a school assignment that was worth a lot of points. Once again, his mother believed this, but this time with a little more caution. Then Donald saw the gleam in his mother's eyes that she wasn't sure she should believe him. He automatically said, "Well, I better be off." Once Donald stepped out the door, he realized he needed to be more careful around his mother. If she knew what he was doing, then he was in for it. The next day at school, he started to ask his friends what they were doing that night. One said he was just going to go trick-or-treating with his little brother and little sister. Another said he was going to throw some eggs at some houses and toilet paper a special house that one of his arch enemies lived in. Donald's closest friend Bill said he was going to a movie and then do a little trick-or-treating, then check how much candy his little brother and sister got. Donald was thinking how much fun it was going to be playing his prank, and he wasn't going to get caught because it was foolproof. Later that day, when school was almost over, Donald was thinking how slowly the clock was ticking in the final minutes. Then the bell rang, and Donald was the first one out of the class and onto the bus. When Donald was on the bus, he thought it took almost 15 minutes to get going, but it really only took about 6 minutes. When Donald got off the bus, he flew through the house and up to his room. When Donald got to his room, he took everything off and started to think of what he needed and to gather his supplies like mad. It took all of 5 minutes for Donald to get his supplies ready and in position. It took about 10 trips back and forth between Donald's house and the old lady's house. Donald thought he would tell his mom that he was going over to Bill's house and that they were going to a movie. After everything was set, Donald thought to take a nap, and so he did. When Donald woke up, it was 5:30 p.m., and he thought, "I'd better get something to eat so I wouldn't be starving." When Donald was going down the stairs, he bumped into his mom. His mom said, "Don, why didn't you tell me you were home? I could have fixed you up something to eat." Donald replied, "Can you make me something to eat right now?" "I guess I could," said Eve in return. When Donald and his mother went down to the kitchen, Donald decided to have a grilled cheese sandwich. After Donald finished, he told his mother that he was going over to Bill's house and they were going to a movie. Donald's mother okayed it and Donald was in the clear. Donald went back up to his room and got ready to set his prank when he told his mom he was going now. She offered to drop him off, but he said no. After Donald left, Eve, his mother, watched him walk down the street. When Donald was walking down the street, he thought about what his mom would do if she caught him. When Donald got up to the old lady's house, he thought what a dirty trick to play on an old lady. But then he thought, oh well. When Donald got into the old lady's house, the old lady was sitting in a rocking chair across from her TV. The old lady was a very mysterious old woman nobody knew much about. The kids that lived on her block knew that she used to have a husband, but then she killed him because he was cheating on her with another woman. They also told she was a witch that flew around Halloween collecting little children and using them in potions and stuff like that. So most of the children were very much afraid of her and didn't like the thought of being used in one of her potions. Donald was setting things up very quietly and had almost everything ready when he heard a loud boom outside of the room he was in. When Donald heard a loud boom outside of the room he was in. Then he kept hearing noise after noise. Finally, it started to creep him out and getting into his mind what they were. Very quietly, he sneaked into the room the old lady was in and started to watch every move she made. He thought a couple of times he heard screams of terror and misery. He thought the old lady could see him, but then he looked away and the old lady turned up right in front of him as he looked back where he was. He looked at her and screamed in terror at the realization that he could never be seen or heard from again. Then all of a sudden the old lady disappears as if she never had been there and ended up back where she was. When Donald had realized she left him, he started to try and sneak out of the house, but when he was almost out, the old lady seized him. He screamed, "Help! Help! Help!" But it seemed as if no one could hear him, like there was a soundproof door in between him and the outside world. Then Donald fainted, and when he woke up, the first thing he noticed was that he was in a dark, faint room with all sorts of other stuff, including little children. Then there she was, the old lady, as ugly as ever, was with pimples on her forehead, nose, and cheek. Her nose was about 5 inches long, and her face was skinny as can be. She looked as if she was 600 years old. Donald screamed in terror. He shouted, "Help! Help! Help!" But still no one came. The old lady yelled in her cackling voice, "Quiet down there, or you will suffer the consequences, for they are far worse than the wrath of Sheba." At once, Donald shut his mouth. He stood still in a cage, wondering where he was, scared stiff, wanting his mother and father more than he had ever wanted them in his whole life. Then Donald could hear the old lady coming down the stairs and almost fainted again when she said they would all die in one way or another. Just then, Donald started to cry, "I want my mother and father." The old lady started to cackle, laughing right away. "You didn't want your mother and father when you started to vandalize my house and property. You should have thought twice when you started to do that." Just then a very large bang occurred that the old lady ran upstairs to see what it was. She returned with another child. Donald couldn't tell if it was a boy or a girl, but he could hear it crying. The old lady hung it in a cage and started to walk over to Donald to take him down. She started to walk with him someplace and brought him to a bright room with pots and pans galore. She was starting to make something when Donald realized that whatever she was making was going to include him. Just then, the old lady started to take Donald out of his cage. He tried to escape, but she threw him in the pot. Then he heard a buzz, buzz, buzz. The next thing you know, Donald was awakened by his alarm clock. He started screaming, and his mother and father rushed into his room. He started to hug and kiss him as if he'd never done before. As surprised as his mother and father were, Donald was too. After that dream, Donald vowed never to do a bad deed again. Once that was over, Donald led a healthy, rewarding life. Sweet dreams, everyone.
Well read. I know, Heather, from an experience several years ago that you're quite an actress. You were the Grinch, right? And that was how many years ago?
2, I think.
Was it two or three? Anyway, you were in 5th or 6th grade. I remember that. Very good. An easy story to write, or did it take you a good long time?
Once I thought of the idea, it just started to come and it started to add stuff once
Yeah.
I read it.
writing fiction is very different than writing nonfiction. Tell me about what is it? Is there a sense of freedom in it? It kind of go anywhere, take people anywhere you want to go, huh? Yeah. That's kind of power, huh?
You don't have to stick to any facts or anything.
No, that's right. You can. It's total imagination. Halloween brings out the imagination in people. Why do you think that is? What do you think? Why do you think people do that?
I don't know.
Making up costumes, being someone else for an evening, slipping into another personality. That's kind of a fun thing to do. It's a very freeing thing. Who's going to continue writing? Anybody thinking of writing? Oh, good for you.
Come on, you guys.
Do you have the great novel inside you, perhaps?
I don't know.
What?
Maybe deep inside me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go. There you go. Who's a Harry Potter fan? One. Only one, two,
come on,
three. Leslie.
Yeah.
I mean, excuse me, the alien, witch, whatever, Hello Central. Great costume, White Fang or whatever, Hello Central over there behind the camera. Looks positively ominous. The audience can't see what we can see, and behind the camera is this weird set of eyes and this really totally cool gown that did you say a witch made that for you? Whoa, cool. Who knows about Ishigas? Anyone know about that story? Those stories? A little bit? They kind of appear this time of year. Isn't it this time of year?
It's pretty much any time of year.
Is it any
I thought
time?
it was like in the country.
Yeah.
It is in the country.
Yeah. I remember when Mr. Martin, Glenn Martin, did a video, one of his videos, and he had, who was it that he had he had a kid playing an Ishigat, didn't he, I think? If I'm not mistaken. Anyway, a great story. Kids, this has been fabulous. This has been fabulous. And I wish you all well, and I hope you all write some more. Who's going to, and Sonia, speaking of acting, Sonia is taking a bit of a hiatus tonight from, we can get a plug in, Sonia, from rehearsal at Bye Bye Birdie. Are you enjoying that?
Yeah, it's fun. It's lots of fun.
What's your character name?
Nancy?
Nancy. Telephone hour is cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What, Matt Medlin is Conrad?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good job.
What's your favorite song in that show so far?
Probably One Boy.
That's a pretty song. You guys worked on that last night.
Yeah,
That's a
I really
nice
like
number.
that one.
We want to remind the public that Bye Bye Birdie is coming to Nome Elementary School on Friday and Saturday, November 8th and 9th and 10th. And then the following, it's the 2 weekends before Thanksgiving. This is all happening very quickly. The play, and then we've got Thanksgiving, and then then there we are. The next thing we know, it's Christmas and Christmas vacation. Girls, give me some. Why don't you think of some tips that you can give the kids out there for trick or treating, safe trick or treating?
Get lots of candy.
Get lots of candy. Hey, that's a good tip. What about
Wear the reflective tape.
wear the reflective tape? Wear the reflective tape.
Don't eat any candy that isn't in a wrapper.
Excellent. Say that one again.
Don't eat any candy that isn't in a wrapper. You don't know where it's been.
That's right. Good.
Snow White
Makes
got a
common sense.
poisoned apple.
Huh?
Snow White got a poisoned apple.
Ooh. Janae, any thoughts for you've got little sisters, right?
Yeah.
What did your mom tell you and mom and dad tell you when you would go out trick or treating? Do you still go out trick or treating? Cool.
Never trick or treat by yourself. Always have a grown up or a teenager with you.
That's right. And watching the traffic. Not only wear the reflective tape, but kids and parents too, and people out there that don't have kids. Remember Tuesday nights at Halloween, we have lots and lots of little ones. Fortunately, when most of the little kids are out, it's still relatively light. It's still light, but do be aware that there are lots of kids running around, and they are going to have, they're all having a good time, and so it's up to you to try to be especially careful if you're driving with the kids. I was driving to school this morning, and of course it was very dark, And I got to be honest with you, kids waiting for the bus. I guess maybe, I don't know, out by the teen center. And boy, I tell you, there was one kid that was crossing the street and he had on a dark coat and dark dark pants and dark shoes and a dark hat, and it was dark out. So be careful. Wear that reflective tape. If you've got, something bright, put on something so that people can see you, and walk on the right side of the street, and be careful out there, because Halloween is a wonderful time, and we want it to continue to be a wonderful time. I asked you before you went on the air, you weren't here, Heather, but what was, and you can give me the same answer, or you can give me a different, huh?
I need my beauty rest.
You need your beauty rest. You were also playing volleyball, right? You had a practice tonight.
All of us did.
Huh?
All of us did. All of us had practice.
Are you all volleyballers?
Yeah.
You guys are who's your coach?
Miss Hager.
Miss Hager. Miss Hager is your mom is hanging outside the door. We tried to get her to come in, but she was being real polite. How's volleyball going?
Good.
Yeah.
Of course, we're the best.
Yeah.
Oh.
You've got games tomorrow night, right?
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then on Friday,
Yeah, on Friday there's certain people. It's not really an all-star team, but
Right.
it's sort of an all-star team, and we play the JV. We're the opener for the tournament.
For the tournament in town. Who's
like
that?
Kotzebue and Uniclete, I think.
Kotzebue and Uniclete. Just volleyball?
Just volleyball.
Just volleyball. And then, but you also have games, intra-squad games tomorrow, I think.
Yes, at the elementary.
Right, and you start at
They start at 4 o'clock and end around 5:30.
around 5:30, 5:45, something like that. So if you're a volleyball fan, and you know that and we want to thank the folks out there. I know that I don't know the final score of the World Series. You were the last one to get here, Heather. Do you know what the final score was?
It was 3-2 when I was.
Yeah, Yankees, 3-2 Yankees. Yay! Being an old New Yorker, the Subway Series, I grew up with the Subway Series. That's where, as a matter of fact, that's where my grandmother used to. I had some of it. 1956 was the last Subway Series. I was 6. I was 6 years old. That was pretty good. So we do appreciate those avid baseball fans that have that watched us instead. And we've taped this show so that we can make some copies, so that your moms and dads can have copies. And the phones are ringing.
The final score is 3-2.
The final score was 3-2, Yankees. So we now have Yankees 3, Mets 1. I mean, how many games?
0. I think it's 3-0. Isn't it?
But the Mets won.
Or yeah, 3-1.
3-1. Three Yankees have 3 and 1. So if the Yankees pull out another game, then they win.
Personally, I'm a Mariners fan. So.
You're a Mariners fan.
Yes.
You Northwest guys and gals are all like, hello Central. But whoever wins. And I know it's been a big deal, and we love it. I don't know if they're having as much fun as we have here in Nome sometimes, but it's got to be an exciting time, the World Series. But our subject tonight has been Halloween, and I just want to remind folks that we've got at City Hall, you can pick up trick-or-treat bags for the kids. They are through the City of Nome and Nome Joint Utilities, and they are free. And again, you need to stop by City Hall to get those. Dawn, who's going to go to the big Dawn Carnival? You guys going?
Yeah. We're gonna help out.
You're helping out.
Yeah,
Are you going to karaoke?
Yeah, right, Marlon? We're gonna karaoke. But joking.
What?
You can do another. Are you going to?
You were going to say something, sir.
But yeah, student councils, I think helping out when the younger kids are there, and we're gonna help out with some of the booths and stuff. So.
Good. Well, a nice, safe, and wonderful, and it's also inside, so if it's blowy,
Yeah.
snowy like it was the other day, or worse yet, blowy, rainy,
Just warm.
dress warm. That's another good tip for safe Halloweening, is to dress warm. We're not in the tropics, got to dress for the weather. Wear your mask or your costume on dress and put warm clothes on underneath. So the Halloween evening is the Dawn not the fun house, the carnival type of thing. They've got karaoke. There'll be what else are they gonna have? You know?
Are they gonna have a haunted house again?
I don't think so.
No, I know not this year. They did. Huh?
They'll probably just have games.
Yeah, it'll be packed.
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks later, we've got the Fireman's Carnival on the second.
Yeah.
So we got the play, we got Halloween, we got the play, we got Thanksgiving. Yeah, where's your costume? Yeah, go put
It's
your.
in a bag over there.
Go get your costume. Share it with us. We got a few minutes. Speaking of costumes, that was my question, Heather, before we came on the air. And the question was, and speaking of decorations, Leslie, you did such a fabulous job on this thing. Thanks. Isn't this cool? And here we are, some of us looking. I love the hair. Looks like me tonight, as a matter of fact, except it's a little, mine's hanging down. And thank you, Leslie, for the Hello Central hat and the buck teeth. Should I do my? Oh, I was going to do that. Should I do it? Should I do it? People want to know. I wear false teeth, and people want to know. So let's see what it looks like. I've never seen what it looks like on television. This is going to be a shock for me. Oh, check it out, Heather. Oh, wait, hang on a second. I'm going to do that. Let's see. What is this? Check it out. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Huh? Oh, merciful mother of Maud Adams, and my mother could. I'm glad this doesn't go to Tampa. God bless us. I tell you. Oh,
Mom's getting it up.
Mom, we gotta get down. Anyway, I'll put my face back on. Okay, a little drum action. Anyway, we've got a costume coming up, and you know Heather is quite an athlete. And check out this. What is that? Hockey? No, it's this is in honor of the World Series. Mr. Richard's not too good with the sports rig. Check this out. Cool. You got the mitt too? Oh, you got the mask, the mitt. Yeah, I've been noticing the kids, a lot of the kids are, what is that, skateboarding? And these new scooters the kids have got?
Yeah.
These, a sharper image or something?
Razor.
What do they call them?
Razor.
Razors?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Lots of those.
Yeah, they are lots of them. They're pretty fancy. I want to give Heather a minute to get this. And check out Leslie. What is our name? I named him Ralph. Is that cool?
That's cool, yeah.
That's cool. Ralph gets around. Ralph, we've seen Ralph a number of times. I can't remember the last time. Like the eyes, very nice touch. Very nice touch. You're very quiet. Maybe that's because you're not alive. Ace ball player in honor of the Mariners. I mean the Yankees. I mean the Mets. Whatever. Cool. The Mariners. Yeah, but it looks cool on your backwards. That's cool.
See with your face next to it.
Yeah, put the mask on. Get out of town.
I can't admit, but it was somewhere. And I was late already, so.
It was somewhere, and you got a lot together in 5 minutes, young lady. So right before we went on the air, Sonia's on the phone. You're on the air in 5 minutes. Who was taking the message, Scotty?
Teddy.
Teddy.
How old is he?
He's 8.
Daddy is
She's like,
probably-
she's asleep.
Daddy
Wake her up.
Daddy is probably into his Pokemon. We had Pokemon Club that day, and he was busy trading and doing his Pokemon thing. Yeah, he does love his Pokemon. Heather, Janae, Marley, and Sonia, thank you so much for coming on Hello Central and sharing your talent and sharing your stories. They are totally cool.
Thanks for inviting us.
Hey, my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. Anytime you guys want to come on the show and got something to do, we'll be more than happy, because I think, you know, one of the things that we like to do in the show, and I'm glad we've done this show because we've had so much in the way of politics, because it's that time of year, it's an election year. We had the city elections, we had, and coming up, and of course, in a couple of weeks, we have the national elections, which segues me into what next week's show is. On the 1st of November, I believe, is that's right, if Tuesday's Halloween, the next day's the 1st. On the 1st of November next week, our show will be about the tax cap. On the state, one of the propositions on the ballot coming up in our big election on the 7th, I believe it is, and we're going to have a panel discussion about the tax cap And please tune in for that very important show. The tax cap has tremendous relevance and can have a tremendous impact, and we want to hear all about the tax cap. So if you would like to be more informed as to your vote, please tune into Hello Central next week. I've asked John Hanlon will be on hand to, that's almost a rhyme. John Hanlon will be on hand to help with that panel. And so tune in next week for the tax cap special. But it is Halloween again, and we want to thank you all for watching. Once again, to Doug Doyle, Chief Doug Doyle, the Volunteer Fire Department. You do a fabulous job all year, gentlemen and ladies, and thank you. Your equipment sparkles. You add luster to our parades. There have been years when you're pretty much the parade. Hello, Central. But we appreciate it. You're a hardworking group of individuals and keep us safe and secure. And we appreciate that and all of your hard efforts. The Fireman's Carnival comes up on the December, the first Saturday, which I'm not sure the date. Is it the 5th? It's the first Saturday in December.
It's the second.
It is the second. It is the second. But always a tremendous turnout for the Fireman's Carnival, and it's a known tradition. Very long standing. So help support your volunteer fire department and several other organizations too that will be participating with different booths. Last week we had Jenny Kramer and Katie Kramer on. We were talking about Special Olympics, and hopefully Special Olympics will be represented there too. So with that, I want to thank the City of Nome for the use of the hall. I want to thank my dear friend Leslie. Look at this glitter curtain. It's just like Millennium, New Year's all over again. And the decorations, they're just fabulous. And this pumpkin, did you notice these gummy bears? Gummy worms.
One white worm.
Ew. Yeah, and all the glitter is still wet. Are you gonna make a pie out of this? I don't want. You're gonna make a pie out of that thing? Cool.
Oh, if you're undecided for president, you can always write me in. And my birthday is November 12th, so be thinking about gifts for me.
Well, you heard it here on Hello Central. Heather for president. If Pat Paulson, some of you might remember that name, if Pat Paulson ran for president, he was a comic on television for many, many years, and he ran, 5 or 6 years. He was a hippie. People used to, during hippie times, which was during my time, when I was in my 20s, when I was a young thing, not an old, haggard-looking old thing like I am tonight. Usually I'm not quite so haggard-looking. But anyway, thank you all for letting us come into your homes for this wonderful sharing of the talent of our young people, these 8th graders. Once again, Heather Piena, Janae Walker, over here on this side, to the left of the pumpkin, Marley Hager, and Sonia Head. You guys are terrific, you gals are terrific, and thank you again very, very much. To all of you out there, one more caution about be careful on Tuesday, be careful all the time. In the morning going to work with the kids waiting for buses, and especially on Tuesday night, there'll be lots of young people out. And with that, my brother Bert just walked in the door. Hello, Merrill Lynch, Pierce Fenner, and Hello Central. Welcome, Bert.
How you doing, bro?
My brother Bert over there. Bert Benville, all the way from Gig Harbor, up on Alaska, a little bit late tonight, huh? Mm-hmm. Anyway, thank you, and Laverne, thank you so much for
My
picking
pleasure. You all look very scary.
Well, you missed the stories. They were totally cool.
Oh my god.
You bet.
Yeah.
You
One
bet.
of my favorite holidays.
It is in Kelly Thrun, kindergarten teacher. Kelly Thrun, have you seen her house down there in Front Street with all the lights and the pumpkins and the stuff? She's had it decorated for, since Labor Day or something. She told me it was her favorite holiday. Again, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week, our special show on the tax cap issue. Please, not only get out there and vote, but find out as much as you can about the candidates and the issues. Again, thank you to you all. God bless. Hello, Central, and have a good evening. Happy Halloween.
Booyah.
Cool.